Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we will talk about how to spot liquidity grabs like a pro, right? But before we do that, you need to understand the meaning of liquidity. And then you also need to understand the meaning of inducements, right? Now, hit the like button and subscribe so we can proceed. Well, what is liquidity? Liquidity is basically money, right? Cash in circulation. Means that liquidity is everywhere on the chart. And once you get to the chart, liquidity is everywhere. Meanwhile, inducement is trap, right? While liquidity can be found everywhere and anywhere, inducements are found at very particular levels, right? With all that being said, let's get to the screen for further examples and explanations. So, welcome back, everyone. Um, Without wasting any much time, let's quickly get into what we have, right? Now, I told you that liquidity means money, right? And then I told you that money is everywhere. You understand? Money is everywhere. So once you're looking at liquidity, your first approach should be if you're starting from a range, right? Now, a range is a low and a high. Now you should understand where the liquidity points are, right? You should understand where the liquidity points are. Now, I want to tell you something. Types of liquidity, we have what? We have internal liquidity and we have external liquidity. Do you understand? Now we have internal, you can call it internal range liquidity, right? You can call it internal range liquidity, or you can call it external range liquidity. Internal internal range liquidity and what's external range liquidity. So while talking about while talking about on this session, we'll talk about internal range liquidity, right? Now, while talking about this internal range liquidity, that's when we talk about what we talk about our substructures and minor structures, right? Now you have a swing structure like this, a swing market structure like this. Now you know that inside within this structure you could have other structural points. You could have other structural points within this particular structure now, right? So these other structural points are what you call your what are what you call your internal structure. And while price forms all these internal structures, these internal structures can be done what can be used as what liquidity or liquidity levels, liquidity points, right? They can be used as valid liquidity points, right? Now, once you're looking at um, internal structures, I want you to understand something. You see, all these internal structures become what? Internal range liquidity. And it is possible for price to do what? For price to come down and take out all these whole internal range liquidity, right? And then what do you mean? It is possible for price to do what? Come and take out all these internal range liquidity right here. Now, these are internal range liquidity, right? Now, talking about external range liquidity. External range liquidity are liquidity points outside structure. Outside structure. Notes. Outside structure. So these are what? Liquidity points outside structure. Now, when you're talking about liquidity points outside structure, these are your highs, these highs, right? these external highs, right? So now, while every price action that trades inside this structure is what? Is an internal structure, while every price action that trades inside this structure is an internal structure, right? Now, every swing point made, swing points, swing points, swing points, swing points, swing points, right? Is what? Is what? An external structure. Now, I want to show you something. I want to show you something. If you're marking this, if you're looking for external points or you're looking for external structures, if you're looking for external structures, a swing point or a swing point only becomes a swing point when price does what? When price take out an external point, when that swing point takes out another swing point, right? When price through that swing point does what? Take out another swing point, right? And let me show you. You can have this guy, this guy, this guy right here. This is not yet an external point because price could still come and do this and then take out all these highs, right? Then this becomes what? Another internal structure bullshit, 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 right? Bullshit, 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 right? So this low taken, right? This high taken. But then before this high gets taken, before that high gets taken, that low is what? An internal structure. Now, until that low does what? Until that low, this low now goes ahead to do what? To take out this high, then this low becomes what? An external point, right? And then we can start having our pullbacks into internal structures, right? Takes out internal structures, creates another point, then takes out what? External structure. Simple, right? External structure. Then price does what? Now all these guys now are what? Internal structures, internal structures, internal structures, external structures, external structures, external structures, right? Now price does what? Comes back down into this guy right here, and then takes out this. So this is now I'll show you. Then okay, before I show you the concept of internal to external and external to external, because price moves in two ways, right? Price action moves in two ways. Price moves from what? Internal, internal to external, internal to external, and also moves from what? External to external. Also moves from external to what? External. Now I told you that internal liquidity are liquidity inside structure, external liquidity are liquidity outside structure, right? Inside structure, inside structure, inside structure, right? Outside structure, outside structure. Do you understand? Now, while internal liquidity are liquidity points inside structure, external liquidity are liquidity points where outside structure, right? Now, price moves from internal to external and moves from external to external. Now, I will explain that. But first of all, before I explain that, make sure you click the like button and subscribe, right? So that we can proceed, because that's the major thing you need to do for me on this video, right? So price moving from internal to external, first of all, let's talk about inducements. We have to first of all talk about inducements. Now, I told you that inducements are what? Are traps. I'll just like basically talk to you about inducement now. Inducements are what? Are traps. Now, these are traps left behind for price to come back to take out later. These are traps left behind to induce what? Traders. You get me now? Now, let's say we have what? We have a structure. I have a structure, right? This complete pullback, and we have this guy right here, and starts coming back, and it does not do what? It does not give a complete pullback, right? Now, you know that a lot of traders want to sell from this breaker block, but then price does what? Price does not get to this breaker block. Price does what? Take out this high, right? Now, other traders have already done what? FOMOed and entered without price coming back to mitigate this breaker block right here. Now, what is price going to do? Price is going to, after taking out this high, quickly come back down. Now, these traders might have gone break even, might have put their stop loss above entry, might have brought their stop loss above to this point, right? Now, what is price going to do? Price is going to quickly do what? Rush out these stop losses below here, right? And these sell stop pending order, because a lot of traders are going to put their sell stop here. A lot of traders already think this is a solid buy, right? Putting their buy stop here. Price takes the buy stop, right? Now rushes down. A lot of traders want to buy here because they think this is a resistance broken turn support, right? But it's not. And price takes out the buy stop and the instant execution, right? Now, a lot of traders wanted to sell from this supply, right? Takes out their SL at this point, then quickly dumps, gets to this point, activates, takes out those guys that bought earlier, takes out their SL. Those guys that are that put their sell stop around here for the sales to activate, price gonna do what? Take out their SL, right? And now there are a lot of guys thinking that price has broken structure, and this right here is now what? An SBR, support turn resistance, right? Now what is price going to do? Price is going to activate that SBR and take everybody out for good, for better, for worse, and do what? Continue to its direction, providing that there is imbalance here, because that is one of the major things you need to see and you need to work with, provided that there is imbalance right there. Now, I've taught you external to external, because this would be what? An external low, and this would be what? An external high. Price making this low protected and this high targeted. Now, meanwhile, internal to internal is what? When price takes what? An internal structure, right? We have price take what? An internal structure. We have this high, we have this low, and we have all these structures, right? Now, we have this low right here. All these points are internal structures, but most times price comes back to the last low before the main low, which is this, right? Now, price upon coming back, comes back to do what? To take out internal structure to where? External structure. You understand everything now. So what I'm basically saying is that, away, sorry, no vex. Uh-huh. All right. So what I'm basically saying is that this is external to external, right? Now put this at the back of your mind. This is the A leg, which is the impulsive move, the B leg, which is the incomplete pullback that causes what? That causes liquidity, that forms the liquidity leg, and then the C, right? Another impulsive move, and then price should actually come back to take out the B leg and continue, right? So this is basically what you need to know about internal liquidity and external liquidity. There are other liquidity points, so but this is the most important that you should have at the back of your mind. And in fact, screenshot this, let it be in your head so that when you get to the charts, you understand what you're doing, right? So let's quickly get to the charts to share my knowledge on internal liquidity and external liquidity, right? Goes the right way for that. Yeah. Sure, goes the whiteboard. So, sure. All right. Okay. So, excuse me. This is GU, right? This is GU. GU's price action has been poor these past days, right? So let's check GBP card. GBP card is quite swift, better than GU, right? I want to show you something right here. Excuse me. All right. So I want to show you something right here. Now you take a look at this guy. You take a look at this guy, this price action. We're on the H1 GBP card. Now you take a look at GBP card. Remember what I told you? I told you that price until this low takes this high, this is an internal, right? Until this low takes this high, this is an internal, right? Now we have this low does what creates a high, but never takes out this major high, right? Price comes back, takes out the low, right? Then when take out this high. So if you take a look at this price action, you'd understand that one thing you would understand with this price action is that this becomes the main external because basically this is what the A, the B, and the C, right? And then price does what comes back to take out the B leg, right? Comes to take out the B leg, then does what? External to external, right? And there are other places you could find this type of price action. Take a look at this point as well. Take a look at this point as well. The A, the B, and the what? The C, right? So, sorry, my bad. The A, the B, yeah, and the C up here. And then price does what? Comes to take out this B leg, right? And external to what? So external. You get me, right? Get what I'm trying to talk about, right? Then you get to thoroughly understand that there was an inducement right here, right? There was this there was this highs, right? And then there was this guy as an inducement, This guy supplied as an inducement. It acted as an inducement right here. So price upon what? Taking these inducements, which will be what? Yeah, this is still external because it took out structure right here. The pullback, first of all, okay, it took out structure, then pulled back to give this external. So yeah, it's external to external, right? External liquidity to external liquidity. And where else do we have external to external, external to external, external to external? Okay, right here we have internal liquidity, right? We have internal liquidity to where? To where? External liquidity. Add up this high. Oh, my bad. Okay, okay. There was another place we had an internal liquidity to external liquidity, right? At this point, on the 45 minutes, we had this last high before the main high. So this was an internal liquidity to what? To external liquidity right there. That was an internal liquidity to external liquidity. Oh, it's internal to external, external to external, internal to external, external to external. Crazy stuff. Crazy, simple stuff. It's crazy, simple stuff. Simple and effective. Effective. See where price took internal range liquidity right here. And then takes what's external range liquidity. Internal to external, right? Internal to external. Well, this right here is where we got an external, right? Price does what? ABC, A, B, C, takes B leg, right here, and then Japmad, right? So where else? 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 Right. We got this point as well. A price takes an internal range liquidity, right? Inducements, inducements, internal range liquidity. Very great. Very good. Very good. I like that. Price takes an external high, right here. Sorry, an external low. My bad. Takes out an external high. Uses this guy as the key level, overlapping imbalance with this previous candle low as what? Internal liquidity, right? You could also see that this trend line also overlapped. Then cool, price moved away from there, still came back to this structural high, I think. Yeah. But what liquidity did it take before then? Was this guy. You check on the line chart, you see that this guy was an incomplete pullback, even on the line chart, right? So that is that. That is that. Now you look at this guy, you see this guy, internal liquidity, price takes internal liquidity, then towards external liquidity, right here, right? This one right here, no matter how small, this is an external liquidity. An external liquidity to external liquidity, right here, external to external, external to external, right? All right, so That being said, we've come to the end of the session. And yeah, so you just have to help me like, subscribe, and then share this video with your trader friends. I'll see you on the next session. Have a great time. And also, I need to point out one thing. Make sure you study this. Go and backtest it for yourself, right? Go and backtest this particular strategy or this particular approach for yourself and see how much it's going to play out in your favor. So that being said, for educational purposes only, have a great time on the chat. Bye bye.